Hi, everyone. Just so you know, I am officially 2 years free from any benzodiazepine or psych meds. And I've made a lot of videos up to this point talking and pleading with loved ones and caregivers to be understanding, to make allowances for people who are dealing with this syndrome, to change their expectations while somebody's going through this. But today I want to approach this from a different angle. Um, because I've seen so many people lose relationships. I've seen so many marriages break apart, and just this condition, it ruins lives, unfortunately. And sometimes we don't have control over that. Sometimes there's nothing that we can do about that. People are free to make their own choices, and things happen, and everybody deals with difficult situations differently. But what I would like to do is give you some advice, um, remind you of some things that I wish I had been reminded of when I was going through this, to that will hopefully help to ease the burden just a little bit on those who are caring for you, who love you. Um, some things that maybe we don't think about because we are just so constantly embroiled in our own constant suffering that we just don't think of just regular ways in which we can behave like normal human beings for the benefit of those around us. So I just want to discuss a couple of ways in which you can pretend to be human when you're going through benzodiazepine withdrawal syndrome, even if you don't feel like a real human being. The first thing is to say, I love you. And that's probably going to be one of the hardest things, because when you're going through this, you don't feel love like you used to. We don't get those normal feelings, and it may feel hollow. It may feel trite to use that phrase, but I can tell you that it really does make a difference. If you can once a day just go up to your partner, um, go up to your children or whoever is in your household and just say, I love you. You may not feel it. It may not feel real to you, but it does feel real to them, and it does make a difference for them. The other thing that you can do along with that is to give physical affection, to give a hug. I know my husband thrives on physical affection, and I know that when you're going through this, sometimes you just don't want to be touched. That's the last thing that you want. But if you could just make the effort once a day to go up to, again, your children or your spouse or your caretaker, whoever it is, and just put your arm around them and give them that hug, that can make a difference. So write that down or something as a daily goal or something for you to accomplish. Um, Thank you. That's something that probably should be done more than once a day. Um, Thank you. I mean, thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you for staying by me and dealing with this and not leaving me. That's something that could be done at least 2 or 3 times a day, just a thank you. Um, the other thing that may be kind of hard to do, but I feel is helpful, is to say, I'm sorry. And I don't mean that you need to be apologizing for the fact that you're disabled, or that you need to accept blame for something that has happened to you that you didn't choose. But I do think it's helpful just to give that sympathy, that empathy, that understanding that you know that they are in a hard situation too, that they're in a situation that they didn't choose, that nobody would want to be in if they had a choice. And so just occasionally saying, I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I'm sorry this is so hard. And following up with thank you really could make a big difference. Um, the The other thing is, when we're going through this, it is so hard to be around other people. And yet we get alone, we get lonely, or we want to get outside of our own brains because of these thoughts and things and the anxiety that's driving us insane. So we get online. and that's kind of our safe place. And it's kind of easier, I think, to be yourself and to communicate with other people when you're online than when you're trying to do it face to face with the kind of brain injury that we're dealing with, because that's just so hard. And so what I would just like to remind you to do is anytime that you are on your phone, or you're online or wherever, and you are messaging with people outside of your home, just take a minute and text your loved one, and text them one of the things that I've mentioned, like, I love you, thank you for taking care of me, hugs, whatever. Just taking that little bit of time just to let them understand that, yes, I am online, and no, I'm not around the family or watching TV with you or whatever, but I'm still thinking about you, really can make a world of difference. I know it's really hard for caretakers when they see us online all the time. They're like, why aren't they talking to me? It's hard for them to understand. I understand, I get it, but just making that little bit of effort can make a difference. And I want to tell you that it must have been maybe 6 months ago or around that long ago. I went up to my children and I apologized to them, and I said, look, I'm sorry that I wasn't really there for you as a mom for so long. I apologize that things, I don't know what I said. I think I just said, I'm just sorry that I wasn't a great mom, that you guys were without me a lot. And my kids are younger. I mean, one of them is 10, the other one is 7. But basically they just said, you weren't? Like, okay, we didn't notice. But that's part of that is because, especially with younger children and with people in general, not just children, it doesn't matter as much that you're not fully functional to them. It doesn't matter as much as you think it does. What matters to people is that you're present. What matters is that you're just there. And there are lots of times, and you'll see it on the trailer for the As Prescribed film, where I'm literally just lying on the ground with my kids, trying to get them to do something productive, and I'm just laying there with my head spinning, and they're reading or drawing or doing homework or something. To them, I was there. I was present, and that's what mattered. So don't let guilt get in the way of you reaching out in a human way and trying to interact in a human way. Don't let that guilt get in the way, because it's false guilt. It's chemical guilt. You're still valuable to the people who love you. They still want you. They still need you on whatever level that you can be there for them. That's good enough for now. And it really does make a difference. So I encourage you to please try and do these things and add a little bit of light to this dark situation and a little bit of hope, and to make things just slightly easier on those around you. And I promise you won't be disappointed that you did.